What do you find to be most important to know in order to be successful on the ACT science test?
Well, apparently I find it of the utmost importance to know E equals MC squared.
And what do you think is most important to know in order to be successful on the ACT science test?
I find it to be most beneficial to know the Avogadro's number, 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23.
Whoa, hold up just 1 second. Hey, would it surprise you to know that you don't really need to know that much about science in order to be successful on the ACT science test? In the next few minutes, we're going to take a look at several examples of ACT science questions, and I'm going to attempt to show you an approach that you can use to score more points than ever before on the ACT science test. In this video, I'm using sample passages and questions from the actstudent.org website. The URL shows up on the bottom of your screen right now. But what I'm attempting to show you here are two key strategies. The first one that will help you be more efficient in the use of your time is to not use valuable time in reading non-essential information. For example, the science section has 40 questions that are taken from 7 different passages of study data report. That breaks out to about 52 to 53 seconds per question, including your reading time. The second key strategy that I'm going to show you is that you need to be careful about what you do read. For example, look at key terms. Understand the difference between what is a figure and what is a table. Make sure that you correlate words from the passage and from the questions to get context clues about where to look. Now, here we go. Let's look real quick at question number 1 on this passage. The question is, which of the following best describes how the two scientists explain how craters are removed from Europa's surface? Number 1, what is Europa? We haven't even read this passage. We don't know what we're talking about. But we can take some idea. Craters, those probably show up on planets or moons, somewhere out in space. Alright, so here are our answer choices. Scientist 1 thinks sublimation. Scientist 2 thinks filled in by water. Scientist 1 thinks filled in by water, and Scientist 2 thinks sublimation. The third question, or the third choice, worn smooth by wind. Scientist 1 and Scientist 2 thinks sublimation. And the fourth choice, Scientist 1 thinks worn smooth by wind, and Scientist 2 thinks filled in by water. There you go. There's 3 different options for explanations that each of the scientists might have. Now, let's look and see what Scientist 1 might have to say. Does he talk about sublimation? Do we even know what sublimation means? No, it doesn't matter, does it? We're going to look for key words in the context. In Scientist 1, I don't see anything here that talks about sublimation or any form of that word. So answer A, probably not the correct answer. What about wind? Are we looking for wind? I see something about subsurface to a point where water liquid can exist. I'm not seeing anything about wind. I see liquid water oozed up. So it looks like B is a good choice for our possibilities. Let's look and see what Scientist 2 has to say. Is there anything about filled in by water? Anything about sublimation? Anything about wind? Let's look through here, quick scan. There's liquid water again, so that might be a possibility. But let's keep going. Water, water, cracking movement. There we go. Oh, sublimes. Does that sound like sublimation? Sublimation, sublimes, that's the possibilities right there. So let's look back at our question. Filled in by water, liquid water, Scientist 1. Sublimation, Scientist 2. Choice B. Look at that. Alright, let's move on. Let's look at the next passage. Looking at question 1 on this passage, what do we see here? In general, the results of study 1 suggest that peony seeds that are placed in a petri dish containing damp paper are most likely to germinate when they are maintained at which of the following temperatures? We have 4 temperature choices, 13, 18, 23, and 28 degrees Celsius respectively. So let's look and see. Study 1, so we don't need to concern ourselves with anything other than study 1. Study 1, there's a nice little narrative here, but if we look at table 1, we can see the number of peony seeds that germinated when maintained at a germination temperature of, do we even know what germination means? Does it matter? No, I don't think so. We're just looking to see where are the most number of seeds. So we have a storage period of 0, 4, 6, 8, and 10 weeks, and the number of seeds that germinate in each of those storage periods at different temperatures. So obviously, when we look back at our question, which one is most likely to germinate at what temperature? Well, we're going to look for the one temperature that has the most number of seeds. Right here in 18 degrees, you can see there's seeds that germinated in all but one of the storage periods. If we total that up, 24 plus 22, that's 46, plus 8 more is 34, plus 2 more is 36. If we look at that to the next closest, there's more seeds at 18 degrees than there was at any of the others. Look here at our answer. Let's look for 18 degrees, and there we are. Correct answer. Nice work. Let's keep going. One more example here before I let you go. This one here might be a little more involved. Let's look at, based on figure 1, material A's temperature increased the fastest during which of the following time intervals? Based on figure 1. Okay, let's look for figure 1. There's table 1, and here's figure 1. See the difference? That's why you need to pay close attention to what you're reading in the questions. Now we can look at figure 1, and we can see, where is there a temperature increase? Can you look at this graph and tell? When the temperature is increasing, that means there must be a slope on the graph. Here at the very beginning, from 0 to 2 seconds, the temperature is increasing. There's a slope. All the way from 2 seconds out to 22 seconds, it's a flat line. It means there's no increase in temperature. Then when we get to the last 2 seconds, there's another increase in temperature. Now we need to do a quick comparison. Which one is more of a steeper slope? It kind of looks to me like 22 to 24 is a steeper slope. So let's try that and see if that's our right answer. Voila, look at that, 3 out of 3. Good luck. I'm sure you guys will do very well. Remember, the key things: don't waste valuable time reading the passages when you don't need to. And number 2, make sure you read the words carefully and make some correlations between what's in the questions and what's in the passage. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you picked up a few new ideas to help you do well on the ACT. Remember, you can always ask any of your teachers specific questions as you prepare for the upcoming test. Good luck and have a great day.